This is Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Ready to rock and roll in our second hour. Carson Johnson, MSUM men's basketball standout, freshman men's basketball standout, will join us about a half hour after his 42-point outing in the double overtime win for the Dragons over the weekend. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to tonight. Tuesday night, it's February. Nothing beats it. From my night's anchor in the sportscast, those were, I would go to Dane and Kirsten and beg for about a minute more of time because there's so much going on. And we got plenty tonight, including over in Moorhead. The girls hockey section tournaments begin around the state. 8AA starts in our own backyard. Once again, Moorhead's had another dynamite year. The Spuds are the top seed, and they open up section play tonight at home. It's our pleasure to welcome back to our program Moorhead girls hockey coach Ryan Kraft joins us on this Tuesday. I was joking with you off air. It's Tuesday, or it's February. This means your yearly return to the show. It's great to see you. Just it's another ho-hum year for the Spuds. You guys are the number one seed.
Well, honestly, it was a little bit of a surprise. I really thought it's a coach's vote scenario, so I really did think that, you know, based on the game, our last game with Roseau, we ended up losing 2-1 in overtime. I thought that would be the tipping point for the rest of the coaches in the section to give Roseau the number one seed. But ultimately, we got it, and we're obviously happy with the position that we're in.
Describe, and I know Cullen was out yesterday in our sports staff talking with a few of the players. The last time we visited was after the bitter loss in the section championship game. You've been in hockey all your life. There's no manual to how to address a team. Now you've had a year to think about it. How was that to go in there and address the team after the loss last year in the title game?
Obviously disappointing, after the year that we had, and, to play, to dominate 2 periods of that hockey game and then come out with a loss. It's one of those things that you don't expect to happen. You don't foresee to happen. You feel like your team is playing really well. And, credit to Roseau. They came out in that third period and absolutely blitzed us. They did a tremendous job of neutralizing our offense and bringing their own. So, how you address a team after that, I think all you can really do is tell them you love them, tell them you're proud of them, tell them that they, don't let one loss take away the unbelievable season that you did have. And, at the end of the day, it's a game and life does go on.
It seems gone unsaid, but this has fueled this team. Is that accurate for this season?
Well, if I'm being honest, I did not expect them to have this type of a season. When you lose 3 Division I hockey players, another critical role player in Maddie Hansen, who fulfilled a top 2-line winger position and contributed timely goals and timely points. And then you had Julia Grammer, who, kind of anchored our blue line, and it was a pivotal role player on the blue line. When you lose 5 players like that, you don't know what to expect the following year. But these girls have really stepped up. They have accepted every challenge that we put in front of them, and they put together a really nice season for themselves.
Where did you see this team maybe start to surpass your own expectations? Was there a time, a game, a practice, say, okay, maybe we're better than what I initially thought?
Well, if I'm being honest, it was when we lost Olivia Corton. She missed 5 games with a shoulder injury way back in November. And, when she went down, it's like, okay, well, there goes our offense. But these girls really came together, and everybody picked their game up in little tiny critical areas where they needed to. And they proved themselves, hey, we can still score goals and be a good team without Olivia. And, and then when we get Olivia back, I think that was kind of the turning point where the girls anyway, I think the coaches kind of always knew that they were a good team, but the girls kind of started to believe, hey, we're pretty darn good here. Let's make a run at this thing.
When you saw the team kind of coalesce after that with Olivia gone, just what did you see on the ice? Say, okay, they're putting it together here without our top scorer.
Well, it had to be a collective effort. At the end of the day, it's something where you can't rely on one girl to do it. Like all three forwards and the two defensemen have to work together as a group of five, and they did an outstanding job of that. And then just being able to put a player like Olivia, back in the lineup with that going on, just enhanced everything that they started to believe in and that we created as a team.
I look at, Ryan, I know since the calendar turned to 2025, your losses are all by one goal. So you're right in every game. I mean, tell me about, I know you want to win every game, but when you lost, you've lost by one. Is that kind of typify what this team is? You're right in every game?
Well, I told the girls at the beginning of the year, I mean, I don't really care what our record is at the end of the year, as long as we're a much better team by game 25 than we are in game 1. So, my evaluation isn't an evaluation based on score; it's based on performance. And we as coaches look and watch a lot of video, and we try to pinpoint the areas where we need to work every day in practice, and then we develop and design drills based around those concepts. So obviously it hurts to lose those 3 games in a row by the score of 2-1, but it's learning moments, it's stepping stones to hopefully be a better team for the playoffs, for the section run.
I know we talked about this often over the last couple of years, and I'll ask you to reflect on it now. From where this program was a handful of years ago, where now you're consistently at the top of the section or considered one of the best teams in the state. How proud are you of that in a short amount of time, that it may seem like a short on the outside, I know it's been longer on the inside, that this has now become a productive and a consistent hockey program that people recognize around the state?
I'm super proud. At the end of the day, like, I am extremely proud of what we've done on the girls' side in Moorhead. And it's never one person or never one concept or idea. It takes a village, from the coaching staff to the players to the parents to the fans to our youth association getting behind us and making sure that we have as many girl youth players at each home game as possible to support the high school girls. I think the big thing for me, remembering going through it on the boys' side when I played, when the high school team is successful, it kind of trickles down, and it makes those younger kids want to have that same feeling and that same concept of it feels pretty good to win. So, again, I think it's taken a lot of different people in a lot of different roles to get this program back to where I think it belongs. And we're certainly, I think everybody's pretty damn proud of it.
How much is one fueling the other? Seeing the boys' success, is that rubbed off on the girls and vice versa?
Well, I think there's a little bit of a friendly rivalry there, to be honest. I think the girls are certainly happy when the boys have success and vice versa, but nobody wants to be overshadowed by the other, so to speak. So, certainly, I think it's a little bit of a motivation for each program, but we're both also doing our own thing and have our own goals and objectives every day. So,
Tell me,
it's certainly fun to follow.
Yeah, the fact that both are having this kind of success is just crazy on the rink this year. Tell us about the opponent tonight. You got a co-op that you're facing to open up things here with.
Well, they're a gritty little team. Honestly, they work really hard. They have a pretty good goalie. I think we may have caught them on an off night. The first and only time we played them at home back in December. I think it was a pretty lopsided game. I don't even remember the score offhand, but everything resets in sections, and you can't take anything for granted. It's one game at a time, one shift at a time, one period at a time. So. I know that's an old cliche, but you really have to stick to it and develop a short-term memory. Like, if you have a bad shift, you can't worry about it. You got to worry about the next shift. Picking each other up, being a good teammate, things that we talk about on a daily basis with our team. And I'm really, really excited to see what this group can do. How
much do you have to not necessarily guard against, Ryan, but say, hey, you know what? Last year, I know we've been, but that was last year. This is a new team, new players that. Yeah, it's out there, what happened, but we got to worry about this year's group.
Yeah, like I said, short-term memory.
Yeah.
Last year is last year. If they want to carry a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because they didn't make it back to a state tournament, I'm totally fine with that. But we we have different personnel, we have different people in different roles. And it's about this year's group and making this year's team as good as they can be.
I don't know if I've asked you this, so I have to now. You still have a vintage Ryan Kraft San Jose Sharks teal jersey? And if so, can we get one here for the studio? Because that'd be fantastic.
I don't have a San Jose Sharks jersey.
Come on!
I don't know why I never got one. I don't remember ever even asking for one. So I'm not sure why. I don't have one. It's kind of weird.
Playing out there, because that is I think for people who don't know, that's a hockey hotbed. Was it like that when you got there? I mean, the Sharks have been around for a bit when you got there, but what was playing hockey in San Jose like?
Loudest building in the I think anyway. I mean, I haven't been to a building that's louder than the Shark Tank. So crazy fans, loyal fans. I mean, they come out whether they're the best team in the league or they're the last place team in the league. I mean, I'm sure they're having a blast right now watching Macklin Celebrini. Yeah. So he's a special player, and it's a special place to play. I really enjoyed my time there.
When you got there, coming out of the Shark, all that, what did you hear about it, and did it live up to the hype when you got there?
I lived up to the hype. I mean, they turn the lights off. They get the dry ice smokers going. By the time you get about 5 steps on the ice, you're kind of like the blind man trying to figure out where he's going because you can't see anything. And then you clear the smoke, and the place is packed, and they got everybody standing and cheering and either waving a little pom pom or some kind of a light, and stepping out onto the ice for that introduction right before a game, it was pretty special.
Last thing before I let you go, as a coach, you've been doing this now. Do you talk a lot on the bench? Do you go on set? Like, how often are you communicating when you're out there? Are you pretty stoic on the bench?
I try to be stoic and let the girls take over. I think at the beginning of the year, I was pretty hard on them this year. Honestly, I had a high expectation for where I thought this team could get to. And I really tried to hold them accountable. So I was very hard on them at the beginning of the year. Second half of the year, I feel like I've lightened up a little bit, and hopefully they've noticed that. And and lately I'm just enjoying watching this team play. I mean, our last 5 games have been pretty darn good, and I'm really, like I said before, I'm really excited to see what they can do.
Great to see you, bud. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck tonight. We'll catch up again soon, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you. Good to see you, and thanks for having me on.
Ryan Kraft, Moorhead girls head hockey coach, joining us. Spuds are at home tonight. The Storm and Sabres that is the co-op of Sartell, Sauk Rapids, that they'll play 7 o'clock over at the Moorhead Sports Center. Their team has been dynamite the last couple of years. They lost that bitterly contested section championship game to Roseau last year, and we'll see if they can start again. Roseau's right there looming. You can see here. Thanks, Eric, for that. That's sharp. They got Brainerd Little Falls as Roseau tonight, and it's aiming for a section championship showdown, which will be a week from tomorrow for the Section 8 AA title. The winner goes on to the state hockey tournament in St. Paul in a couple of weeks. We'll break. We come back. Schedules are coming out. The Big 12 is announcing its football schedule for next season. That's interesting for us because we got a couple of FCS teams playing Big 12 opponents. We'll update you on that much more as we roll on. Hot Mike, back after this.